Hey there, manga fans. Get ready for a spine-chilling journey as we explore the 5 most twisted manga of all time. In this video, we will be delving into the dark and disturbing world of manga that will leave you questioning your sanity. But before we begin, a word of caution. The content we will be discussing is not for the faint-hearted. We're talking about mature themes, explicit language, and some seriously graphic violence. So if you're not up for it, now's the time to bow out. However, if you're ready to dive into the twisted world of manga, buckle up and get ready for a wild ride. We'll be exploring some of the most disturbing and unsettling stories ever written in the world of manga. From twisted horror to psychological thrillers, these manga will leave you on the edge of your seat and questioning your own sanity. So, without further ado, let's dive into the 5 most twisted manga of all time. Number 5. Homunculus by Hideo Yamamoto. Homunculus is a manga that delves into the human psyche and explores the limits of perception and reality. The story follows a homeless man named Suzumu Nakoshi, who agrees to participate in an experimental surgery to drill a hole in his skull in exchange for money. The surgery awakens a dormant part of his brain, allowing him to perceive the world in a new and unusual way. The themes of identity, perception, and reality are central to Homunculus. As Nakoshi's perceptions of the world begin to shift, so too does his sense of self. He becomes disconnected from his former life and struggles to understand who he truly is. The manga raises questions about the nature of identity and whether it is something inherent or something that can be manipulated. The art style of Homunculus is highly detailed and realistic, which only adds to the graphic and disturbing nature of the story. The graphic scenes of violence and gore are depicted in a visceral and realistic manner, which can be difficult for some readers to stomach. However, these scenes serve a purpose in the story, as they illustrate the impact that Nakoshi's altered perception has on his behavior and psyche. What makes Homunculus so compelling is its willingness to explore the darker aspects of the human mind. It is a challenging and thought-provoking work that forces the reader to confront uncomfortable truths about the nature of perception, identity, and reality. While it is not for everyone, those who are willing to delve into its unsettling depths will find a rich and rewarding experience. The manga also explores the idea of social isolation and the consequences it can have on a person's mental state. Nakoshi is a homeless man who is disconnected from society, and the surgery he undergoes only serves to further distance him from the world around him. As his perceptions become more distorted, he becomes increasingly isolated, leading to further psychological trauma and inner turmoil. The use of the homunculus concept is also worth noting. In alchemy, a homunculus is a miniature, artificially created human that represents the potential for transformation and self-discovery. The homunculus in Homunculus serves a similar purpose, representing Nakoshi's potential for growth and transformation. However, as with any journey of self-discovery, there are risks involved, and the manga does not shy away from exploring the darker side of this process. Overall, Homunculus is a complex and challenging work that explores the darkest aspects of the human mind. Its exploration of themes such as identity, perception, and reality, combined with its graphic and disturbing imagery, make it a challenging and thought-provoking read. However, for those who are willing to delve into its unsettling depth, it is a powerful and rewarding work that offers a unique perspective on the human condition. Number 4. Ichi the Killer by Hideo Yamamoto. Ichi the Killer is a manga by Hideo Yamamoto that is notorious for its extreme violence and graphic content. The story follows the sadistic and brutal actions of a young man named Ichi, who is manipulated by a powerful Yakuza boss named Jijai. As the story unfolds, it becomes clear that both Ichi and Jijai have deep psychological issues that have led them to become the violent individuals they are. The graphic violence in Ichi the Killer has made it a highly controversial manga. It is not for the faint of heart, as it depicts brutal acts of torture, murder, and sexual violence. The manga has been banned in several countries and has been the subject of much debate within the manga and wider entertainment industries. However, Ichi the Killer is not just a mindless gore fest. The manga explores complex psychological themes such as the effects of childhood trauma, the nature of sadism, and the blurred line between victim and perpetrator. The character of Ichi is a prime example of this, as his violent tendencies stem from his traumatic past and his desire for acceptance and love. Meanwhile, Jijai's manipulation of Ichi highlights the power dynamics at play in abusive relationships. Additionally, the art in Ichi the Killer is highly stylized and helps to emphasize the manga's disturbing themes. The characters are depicted with exaggerated features, such as elongated limbs and grotesque facial expressions, adding to the unsettling atmosphere of the story. Despite its controversial nature, Ichi the Killer has had a significant impact on the manga and wider entertainment industry. Its exploration of psychological themes and extreme violence has influenced many other works, both in manga and in other media. One of the most interesting aspects of Ichi the Killer is its exploration of the nature of sadism. The character of Ichi is a sadist, deriving pleasure from inflicting pain on others. The manga doesn't shy away from the brutality of his actions, but it also doesn't glorify them. Instead, it forces the reader to confront the uncomfortable truth that sadism exists within society and can have devastating consequences. Furthermore, the relationship between Ichi and Jijai highlights the power dynamics at play in abusive relationships. Jijai preys on Ichi's vulnerabilities and manipulates him into carrying out his violent bidding. The manga doesn't excuse Jijai's behavior, but it also doesn't absolve Ichi of his responsibility for his actions. This nuanced approach to the characters adds to the complexity of the story and makes it all the more unsettling. The art style of Ichi the Killer is also worth noting. It is highly stylized, with exaggerated features that add to the manga's overall sense of unreality. The violence is depicted in a graphic and gruesome manner, but the manga's use of color and texture makes it almost otherworldly. This art style helps to create a surreal and disturbing atmosphere that reinforces the psychological themes of the story. Overall, Ichi the Killer is a challenging and controversial manga that delves into the darkest aspects of human behavior. Its exploration of psychological themes such as trauma, sadism, and abuse make it a thought-provoking work that pushes the boundaries of the horror genre. While it may not be for everyone, it is a powerful and influential work that has left its mark on the manga and wider entertainment industry. Number 3. Gyo by Junji Ito. Gyo is a horror manga written and illustrated by Junji Ito. The manga tells the story of a young couple, Tadashi and Kaori, who find themselves in the middle of a bizarre and terrifying outbreak. Strange, fish-like creatures with mechanical legs begin to emerge from the sea and invade Japan. As the couple tries to survive and unravel the mystery behind the creatures, they are forced to confront their own fears and weaknesses. One of the most striking aspects of Gyo is its grotesque and disturbing imagery. The creatures, with their mechanical legs and rotting fish bodies, are deeply unsettling and grotesque. Ito's illustrations are incredibly detailed and realistic, making the creatures feel all the more disturbing. The manga also contains scenes of graphic violence and gore, adding to the horror. But Gyo is more than just a story about grotesque creatures. It also explores the themes of decay and transformation. The fish creatures are a metaphor for decay and corruption, as they spread a foul odor and leave a trail of rotting flesh wherever they go. As the creatures begin to take over the bodies of humans, the manga becomes a story about the fear of losing control and being transformed into something monstrous. The theme of transformation is also explored in the character of Kaori. Throughout the manga, she becomes increasingly ill and weak, eventually transforming into something resembling one of the fish creatures. This transformation is a metaphor for her fear of losing her beauty and youth, as well as her fear of being alone and abandoned. In addition to its themes, Gyo also has a complex and engaging plot. The story is full of twists and turns, as Tadashi and Kaori try to uncover the truth behind the outbreak and find a way to survive. The manga also has a sense of urgency and tension that keeps the reader on edge, wondering what will happen next. Another notable aspect of Gyo is its exploration of the relationship between humans and the environment. The fish creatures are a result of pollution and human disregard for the ocean, highlighting the consequences of environmental destruction. The manga can be seen as a cautionary tale about the dangers of not respecting nature and the impact it can have on society. The characters in Gyo are also well developed and relatable. Tadashi and Kaori's relationship is the backbone of the story, as they struggle to survive and come to terms with their fears and weaknesses. Tadashi, in particular, is a compelling protagonist, as he must confront his own sense of cowardice and find the strength to protect the ones he loves. Furthermore, Ito's use of body horror in Gyo is both effective and disturbing. The transformation scenes are visceral and graphic, and the creature's mechanical legs are a constant reminder of their unnaturalness. The manga's use of body horror can be seen as a commentary on the fear of losing control over one's own body, as well as the fear of the unknown and the unpredictable.
Number 2. Fu and Notain by Masaki Nakayama. Fu and Notain is a horror manga series written and illustrated by Masaki Nakayama. The series consists of 3 volumes, each containing a collection of short horror stories that are unsettling and creepy. The title Fu and Notain translates to Seeds of Anxiety, and this is an accurate description of the themes explored in the manga. The stories in Fu and Notain are not traditional horror tales with monsters or supernatural creatures. Instead, they focus on everyday objects and situations that become terrifying due to subtle changes or inexplicable phenomena. For example, one story is about a woman who becomes obsessed with cleaning her ears and discovers a strange, squirming creature inside. Another story is about a man who is chased by an old woman with a laundry basket full of severed hands. What makes Few and Notain so unsettling is the sense of dread that permeates each story. The horror is not in the gore or violence, but in the mundane and familiar becoming twisted and distorted. The manga plays on our deepest fears and anxieties, such as the fear of the unknown, the fear of losing control, and the fear of isolation. The stories also deal with themes of mental illness and trauma, adding an extra layer of psychological horror. Nakayama's storytelling techniques are masterful in creating a sense of horror and dread. He uses a minimalist art style, with simple line work and sparse backgrounds, that draws the reader's focus to the characters' expressions and actions. The manga also employs a lot of negative space, leaving the reader to fill in the gaps with their imagination. This allows the reader's mind to conjure up even more terrifying scenarios than what is shown on the page. The pacing of the stories is another factor that contributes to the horror. Nakayama often uses a slow build-up, starting with an innocuous situation that gradually becomes more and more disturbing. The tension builds until the reader is left with a sense of unease and dread that lasts long after the story has ended. In conclusion, Few and Notain is a creepy and unsettling manga series that explores horror through everyday objects and situations. The stories deal with themes of anxiety, mental illness, and trauma, adding an extra layer of psychological horror. If you're a fan of horror manga or want to experience something truly unsettling, then Few and Notain is a must-read. Number 1. Uzumaki by Junji Ito. Junji Ito is a Japanese horror manga artist who is widely considered one of the most influential figures in the genre. His works are known for their bizarre and unsettling imagery, as well as their exploration of psychological horror and the human psyche. One of Ito's most famous works is Uzumaki, a 3-volume manga series that tells the story of a town cursed by spirals. The manga follows the story of a teenage girl named Kirigashima, who lives in a small Japanese town called Kyuruzu-cho. The town is known for its strange occurrences and bizarre events, which all seem to revolve around a spiral shape. As the story progresses, Kiri and her boyfriend Shuichi Sato begin to investigate the strange happenings in the town. They discover that the spiral shape is causing people to become obsessed and even possessed by the spirals. The obsession with the spirals leads to grotesque body horror, with people twisting and contorting their bodies in disturbing ways. The spirals also affect the landscape of the town, causing buildings and natural formations to take on spiral shapes. Even the weather becomes affected by the spirals, with tornadoes and whirlpools appearing in the town. As Kiri and Shuichi try to uncover the source of the spirals, they encounter various townspeople who have been driven mad by their obsession with them. The manga culminates in a surreal and nightmarish climax that sees the town engulfed in spirals. Uzumaki is a chilling and twisted tale that explores the idea of obsession and the grotesque consequences that can result from it. The manga's surreal and horrifying imagery, along with its exploration of the human psyche, has made it a classic in the horror genre. The twisted themes in Uzumaki revolve around the idea of spirals, which manifest in various forms throughout the story. From snails and whirlpools to human hair and even human bodies, the spiral motif is used to create a sense of horror and unease. The manga also explores themes of obsession, madness, and the inevitability of fate. One of the most striking aspects of Uzumaki is its use of body horror. Ito's depictions of the human body being twisted and deformed by the spiral curse are grotesque and disturbing. The manga also employs a surreal and dreamlike atmosphere, which adds to the sense of horror and disorientation. Uzumaki has had a significant impact on the horror genre, not just in Japan but around the world. Its unique blend of surrealism, body horror, and psychological horror has inspired many other horror manga artists and writers. The manga has been adapted into a live-action film and an anime miniseries, further cementing its place in popular culture. In conclusion, we have explored the 5 most twisted manga of all time. These manga take horror and psychological genres to the next level, exploring themes that challenge our understanding of fear, identity, perception, and reality. If you are a fan of horror and psychological manga, we recommend that you give these titles a read. However, we must warn you that they contain mature and graphic content, and are only suitable for mature audiences. We hope that you have enjoyed this video and that it has piqued your interest in the world of twisted manga. If you have any thoughts or recommendations for other twisted manga, please let us know in the comments section below. Also, apologies for wrong pronunciations. Also, if you would like us to explore any of the manga discussed further, please let us know, and we will do our best to bring you more content on that topic. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on our latest videos and join our community of manga enthusiasts. Thank you for watching, and until next time.